Yes, y'all, and you don't stop. What's going on, people? Welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host, Yan. I hope you are all doing well today, mate. I really do hope that. Welcome back to Chelsea News, the not-so-daily series right here on Football Therapy, where I go across the football news media, see what's being said about the Blues, consolidate it into one manageable package, and present it to you here on Football Therapy, giving you my opinion, but hey, more importantly, asking for yours. The series has returned. Midfield madness! That's right, with The Athletic reporting on Chelsea's stern desire to return in for Declan Rice this January. I needed to make a video talking about it yet again. Of course, this is a recurring theme with Chelsea and transfers of late, and in the summer, where Chelsea bought so many players, it kind of fizzled out a little bit, but it's returned. Frank Lampard's deep burning desire to play a 4-3-3 formation, which looks like the best formation for Chelsea, does indicate we can't rely on just Kante to play that lone holding role, especially when he's got injury problems. He's getting on a little bit. Jorginho, I'm not so sure can do it by himself. Kovacic, I'm not so sure can do it by himself. Boy oh boy, we know Declan Rice could absolutely do it by himself. So we got to talk about that, and of course the counterparts or the counter arguments are this would require heavy investment from Chelsea Football Club, and Chelsea have the likes of Ethan Ampadu, Billy Gilmore, So I suppose this is the case for and against. So make yourself comfortable, pour yourself a drink. You don't have to have a drink, just make sure you're comfortable. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. If you are new, make sure that all important bell notifications icon is switched on, and come follow me on Instagram for daily nudes. And let's get into some wonderful, beautifully Chelsea-related content. Alright then, off the bat, there are news stories floating around again that Chelsea are going in for Declan Rice, potentially in January, sourced originally from The Athletic, but we know from different reputable journalists that Frank Lampard is, of course, a huge admirer of Declan Rice. They really wanted to get him in the summer, and Declan Rice would quite like the move to Chelsea Football Club. Now, it would cost a lot of money. How much money, I'm not so sure. I think West Ham would welcome a £50-60 million transfer fee, even though perhaps it was rumoured that they would request 80 originally. It might be a bit of a Ben Chilwell thing, want 80, pay less. Whether we'd get him as cheap as we did as Ben Chilwell, I'm not so sure. Ben was about 50 million. It's talked about an extra 10 million for Declan Rice in this instance. The stories coming out of East London prior to this was Declan Rice was being offered a new big bumper contract, and you can understand why. West Ham were in scintillating form early doors this season, and Declan Rice has been playing really well for a long time now at West Ham, wearing the captain's armband at such a young age. So West Ham want to double his wages, I think, stick him on a long contract, and that offers them security in the transfer market, so they can absolutely demand a gargantuan fee for the young English central defensive midfielder, while also hopefully making him want to stay, like feeling important, earning bare peas. Do you know what I mean? Frank Lampard is reportedly hoping that Declan says no thank you to this new bumper contract, and basically bides his time and says, guys, can I go to Chelsea? Do you know what I mean? Whether that will happen or not is yet to be seen. I think Frank Lampard, Chelsea, Petr Cech, Marina Granovskaya, Roman Abramovich, the whole gang are really relying on getting a couple of people out the door before they make a serious move for Declan Rice. I don't think they came in for Declan in the end in the summer transfer window, purely down to the fact how they didn't sell Emerson, Alonso, Bakayoko, Batshuayi. The latter two went on loan. And there was probably a few others they would have liked to have sold. You know, Drinkwater, Baba Rahman, the list goes on. So Chelsea did not generate the funds that they wanted to make. Okay, let's speak English and start again. Deep breath. So, Chelsea did not generate the funds they would have needed to make a move for Declan Rice, but maybe they can make some January sales in the January sale and buy Declan Rice. So, you know my opinion on the lad. I think he would be a perfect rotational CDM option with N'Golo Kante in this newfound beautiful 4-3-3 formation. Actually, this is not a newfound formation. This is the formation Chelsea used most last season, but not with a proper CDM and 2 attacking 8s. So it was kind of a new approach in that sense. So I quite like Declan Rice, and if he's obtainable for 60 million or less, I probably would endorse it personally. But I'm not sure what everyone else thinks, because of course Chelsea have 2 very young, talented young CDM players on their books in their ranks. Of course there's Ethan Ampadu, who is currently away on loan at sinking Sheffield United. I'm a huge fan of Ethan Ampadu, always have been since we bought him from Exeter. He came in straight away, played under Conte, and absolutely impressed everyone. I watched him a few times at the Bridge. He was very versatile. He played in different positions. He stuck a leg in. He was excellent at slide tackling, can spray long diagonal balls, and is a very confident and commanding figure. Do I think he's a finished article like Declan Rice? No. Do I think right now, do I think he's got a higher ceiling than Declan Rice? Maybe. I think perhaps his passing could be better than Declan Rice. But in terms of buying a player that can slot in right now and make Chelsea challenge and rotate with Kante, Declan Rice trumps it for me. But you have to consider Ampadu, because Ampadu can play at centre-back, he can play at CDM. He's younger, isn't he? He's like a couple of years younger than Declan Rice, and I do love Ampadu. I need to see him have a sort of long run of games in Premier League football before I can put him up next to Declan Rice. But if Frank Lampard brings him in and trusts him, I'd absolutely back that decision. When Frank Lampard was appointed the Chelsea manager, he spoke glowingly of Ethan Ampadu, saying how he wants to work with him, but he sent him on the RB Leipzig loan, not reluctantly, but I think we all thought that was a great loan when it wasn't in the end. And then maybe by the time he's come back, he's like, well, he hasn't played any football. I sort of know these players now, send him on another loan. I get it, you know. But personally, if you're talking about a Chelsea youngster on the books already that could play that role and might look good and has looked good in top tier football, hell, a kid that might have won man of the match in eliminating the champions from the FA Cup and beating Carlo Ancelotti's Everton 4-0 in the Premier League, of course, it's the young Scotsman who is now back in training, young Billy Gilmour. Yes, Billy might be slight and small in size, but like Lampard says, in personality, he is large. He is, like Ampadu in many ways, can basically spray long diagonal balls, he can stick a foot in, which is surprising considering he's built like a small child. But one thing I think Billy Gilmour has that Ethan Ampadu does not have, he has a touch of the Jorginho about him. He's more of a regista than Ethan Ampadu. He can recycle possession a lot quicker. Ethan Ampadu will, be defensively good, he'll spray a long diagonal, but in terms of recycling possession quickly out of the press, for me personally, that is all Billy Gilmour over Ethan Ampadu. Now, don't get it twisted, boys and girls, I absolutely adore both these players, Ampadu and Billy Gilmour, for different reasons. They can play in a similar position, but they're slightly different stylistically, and if you had to ask me who I'd prefer to start immediately, I'd choose Billy Gilmour purely on the premise of I've seen him perform incredibly well at this level before. But at the same time, if I was to play devil's advocate to myself, if you ask me who's closer to N'Golo Kante, I'd probably have to say Ethan Ampadu, and N'Golo Kante is what's working right now in this system, in this three-man midfield, so I'm leaving myself a little bit confused. But of course, I'm really keen on getting your thoughts and opinions, boys and girls. What do you think? I think, at the moment, if you had to pick out of the three to drop a player in there and Chelsea to just carry on playing really well, like they do with N'Golo Kante, for me, it is, of course, Premier League proven, I know people hate that term, Declan Rice. He'd look incredibly good in this Chelsea side and he'd slot right in. But if you don't want Chelsea to spend any money and you'd have to choose out of Billy Gilmour and Ethan Ampadu, I'm pretty torn, so I'm keen on getting your thoughts. Get down into the comment section below and express yourselves on these three players. Who would you prefer to see coming in? Would you like the idea of Declan Rice Do you want to put all your faith in one of the youngsters? Express yourselves down in the comment section below. Drop a like on the video if you've enjoyed the content today, man. Remember to subscribe if you're new. What else? There's not much else, so enjoy the football. Keep it locked. I'll see you later.
You ain't so tough with that bad boy tuck. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought. Body bag the verse, outlined in chalk. In my life seen trouble, hustle on the double. Silence on the trigger like my pick got a muzzle. Yo chick like to guzzle, bad boy stay in trouble. I only love this paper, sorry I don't. I laugh me baby.